Welcome back. Now, our first preview is a game based upon the popular manga from Japan called Berserker by Kentaro Miura. The developer is Yuke's, who's responsible for WWF SmackDown. So the result, as you may imagine, is pretty, but pretty gruesome as well. Many of the Final Fight-inspired 3D games brings to mind the tedious experience of fighting Force and Zombie Revenge. But it would seem that disappointed fans of the genre may have a winner on their hands. Controls in this game are pretty simple to figure out. You can jump, block, and swing one mighty-looking piece of blacksmith ingenuity. At its heart, the game is just a straightforward hack and slash, where you just rely on your basest of instincts. Chop the enemy to bits and pieces, and try not to have the same thing happen to yourself. The game also will provide you with an endless array of things to chop up, with soldiers, undead creatures, monsters, and many a mutated thingamajig. The Berserk mentioned in the title is a condition that comes over Gatsu when he has incurred enough damage. Suddenly, the screen turns blood red, and everybody regrets picking a fight with this guy. One of the best elements in the game is the sound, especially the sword cutting through the air. If you have a subwoofer, you're gonna feel it in your chest. Voice work in the game should bring back some memories of Eidos' Soul Reaver through the numerous cutscenes found in the game.
Now hurry and squash them!
Needless to say, the graphics look really good. And while not a deep game, Sword of the Berserk Guts Rage might provide one of those satisfying, mindless experiences. We'll tell when it's released. It should be terribly reassuring to all of us that Eidos has promised that they've increased the gore factor for Sword of the Berserk by 30% over the Japanese version, simply titled Berserk. Now, this next game is for all those fans of Homer, the poet. This next game uses quite a few gods and heroes from Greek and Roman mythology, which would make it sound quite promising, but unfortunately, it didn't deliver quite as we would have liked. The mythology that interplays Inviticus wraps itself in is rich in potential, combining role-playing elements into a real-time strategy vehicle based on the universe of Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. In Inviticus, game players assume the role of a not-so-lucky human who's cast as the primary in a wager between Athena and a vengeful Poseidon, the gist of which is to impress Poseidon enough so as to prevent him from drowning the whole of civilization. To accomplish the task at hand, you're allowed to recruit two famous heroes from the text of ancient mythos. These two combined with ones you meet along your quest and the more regular variety of men for hire will form the basis of your fearless army in a series of single-player events, with additional multiplayer matchups available through M-Player. But where one battle might be against the clock and another against those who would keep you from a person or a much sought-after item, unfortunately, some of Inviticus's largest battles are against boredom. Poorly executed. Steve Poole of Gamespot gives Interplay's epic Inviticus a 4.7 out of 10. All right, perhaps we were a little harsh, but if you want a good strategy game, you cannot go wrong with Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings. And if you're an RPG fan, you might have been playing Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, and you might find that you need a break from the very heavy narrative. So here's a new way to have quite a bit of fun with your favorite characters. The PlayStation version of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete has been regarded as one of the coolest anime-style RPGs ever featured on a console. But did you know that Lunar also makes for a great retro arcade game? Go ahead and pop in your Making of Lunar CD, and as the video starts, press up, down, left, right, triangle, start. Then you'll be thrown into the maelstrom that is Lords of Lunar. Here you get to play a game that looks like the love child of Pong and Breakout, as you try to defend your castle from bouncing balls. If you didn't get that cheat down fast enough, come on over to the Game Help section of the GameSpot TV website, where you can get your own Lunar Silver Star Story Complete cheat, as well as more strategy guides that you can shake a joystick at. Coming up on Gamespot TV, John McClane is back to clean up Sin City. Die Hard Trilogy 2 has hit the shelves, and we have a review. And get ready for it. We have more wrestling action in our review of WWF SmackDown. If you're a fan of the WWF, you better recognize